Some people look calm, almost too calm. No matter what happens around them, they seem to move at their own pace, slow, steady, untouched. The world can fall apart, and yet they breathe as if they've learned something the rest of us forgot. Maybe you've met someone like that. Or maybe you are that person. People who are always calm are often misunderstood. Others call them cold, detached, emotionless. But inside, it's not emptiness, it's control. A calm person isn't someone who doesn't feel. It's someone who's learned to feel without letting the feeling take over. That's a very different kind of strength. One that isn't loud, but it lasts longer than anger or panic ever could. Imagine you're in a room full of noise, everyone arguing, opinions flying like knives, phones vibrating, notifications screaming for attention. In the middle of that chaos, one person just listens. Their silence is not weakness, it's clarity. While everyone is reacting, they are observing. While everyone is defending, they are understanding. That's what calm really is, a kind of quiet awareness that doesn't need to prove anything. Psychologically, calmness often comes from people who have lived through too much noise. Those who've been through storms, heartbreak, loss, they eventually learn that panic doesn't save you. Yelling doesn't change the outcome. Only awareness does. There's a point where you stop fighting reality and start observing it. And that shift, from resistance to presence, that's where calm is born. It's not a natural state for most of us. It's earned. People who are always calm weren't always this way. They were once the ones who cried easily, who overreacted, who worried too much. But life, over time, taught them the cost of losing control. You can't fight every battle. You can't chase every emotion. So they learned to breathe, to let go, to wait. If you've ever seen someone sitting alone, sipping coffee slowly, staring out the window, not distracted, not on their phone, you're looking at someone who has made peace with silence. And in that silence, there's a kind of wisdom. Calm people are rarely the loudest in the room because they don't need to convince you of anything. Their presence already does that. There's a psychological term called emotional regulation. It means being able to recognize your feelings without being consumed by them. Calm people are masters of this. When they feel anger, they don't suppress it. They observe it. They name it, understand where it comes from, and let it pass. It's like watching clouds drift across the sky. They don't fight the storm. They know it will end. Philosophically, calmness can also be seen as acceptance, not of defeat, but of truth. The Stoics believed that peace comes from understanding what you can control and letting go of what you can't. Calm people live by that rule, even if they've never heard of Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus. It's not about ignoring life's problems, it's about meeting them with the same steady breath, no matter what form they take. You might think calm people are disconnected, but the truth is they're deeply connected. Just not to drama. They're connected to patterns, to energy, to understanding. They know when to speak and when to stay silent. They can sense when a fight is worth having and when peace is the greater victory. It's not that they lack emotion. It's that they've stopped letting emotion run the show. Think about a candle burning in a dark room. It doesn't fight the darkness. It doesn't scream for attention. It simply burns. That's calmness. It's strength disguised as softness. It's power that doesn't need recognition. But there's another layer to this. Many people who appear calm on the surface learned to be that way because they had to. When you grow up in an environment where emotions were dangerous, where anger brought punishment, or where crying made you vulnerable, you learn to hold everything inside. Calm becomes a shield, a survival mechanism. The body learns to stay still because movement was once unsafe. That's why some calm people are not at peace, but in defense. Their calm is not acceptance, it's containment. They've learned to hide the storm inside so no one can use it against them. You can see it in their eyes. They look gentle, but there's something there, something restrained. Their calmness is both armor and wound. Over time, though, many of them transform that survival calm into conscious calm. They realize that silence doesn't have to mean repression. It can mean freedom. It's the difference between being quiet because you're scared and being quiet because you've understood. When that happens, calm becomes not a mask, but a home. And there's beauty in that kind of calm, because it doesn't come from avoiding life. It comes from living it fully, falling apart, and then realizing that you can rebuild yourself without losing your center. Calm people don't run from chaos. They just don't let it run them. If you look closely, you'll notice they breathe differently. When others hold their breath in stress, they exhale. They know the moment you start controlling your breath, you start controlling your mind. It's simple, but profound. Calmness begins in the body, in the lungs, the heartbeat, the shoulders that stop clenching. The mind follows the body. That's why calm people walk slower, speak softer, react later. They've trained their bodies to signal safety even when life doesn't feel safe. There's a hidden strength in this. When you stay calm, people reveal themselves to you. Anger blinds, but calmness sees. A calm person can walk into a room and feel the emotional temperature before anyone speaks. They can sense tension, insecurity, ego. And instead of matching that energy, they lower theirs, creating space for peace. That's emotional intelligence in its purest form. And yet, being calm doesn't mean being numb. Calm people cry too. They just do it quietly. They feel deeply, but they don't need witnesses. Their healing happens in silence, not in public display. It's not because they're afraid. It's because they've learned that peace isn't something you perform. It's something you protect. At some point, calmness stops being a trait and becomes a way of being. It changes how you love, how you argue, how you grieve. You start to realize that nothing good grows in panic, that the most powerful responses often come from stillness. There's a moment, maybe you felt it, when you're about to lose control, and something in you whispers, "Wait." That whisper is your calm. It's the wiser part of you that doesn't speak often but always knows what to do. Calm people live close to that voice. If you've ever met someone who radiates peace, it's not because their life is easy. It's because they've made peace their practice. They breathe through discomfort. They listen instead of reacting. They understand that silence can heal what words can't. Maybe you envy them. Maybe you wish you could stay that centered. But the truth is, you can. Calmness is not a gift. It's a discipline. It starts with noticing, with choosing not to rush, with understanding that not every opinion needs an answer, not every storm needs a fight. The world today rewards noise, but those who are truly powerful, truly awake, know that strength is measured in stillness. You can be calm and fierce. You can be gentle and unbreakable. You can face a hurricane and remain grounded, not because you ignore it, but because you've learned that everything passes. And that's the secret. Calm is not about what happens outside of you. It's about what you decide to hold inside. If you found a piece of yourself in these words, leave a quiet dot in the comments. Just one. I'll know what it means.